सलवात पढ़ें। आपने अपनी हाज़िरी की कबूलियत के लिए बुलंदतर सलवात। अब मैं गुजारिश करूँगा हमारे निहायती मोहतरम और मोअज़्ज़ज़ बहुत ही खूबसूरत अंदाज में पढ़ने वाले मौलाना सैयद मोहम्मद अबरार नकवी के वो तशरीफ़ लाए और अपने मखसूस अंदाज में ज़िक्र मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद अलैहिस्सलाम बयान करें।
For the forgiveness of our sins, can we have a loud salawat, please? For the acceptance of all our du'as, for the sake of Babul Hawaij, can we have a loud salawat, please? For the Zahoor of Qaim Al Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, can we have a loud salawat, please? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين الذي قيل في شانه وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين أعني أبي القاسم محمد والصلاة والسلام على أهل الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إن الحسين مصباح الهدى والسفينة النجاة. Can we have a loud salawat, please? Alhamdulillah, today is our 8th session in which we have been discussing how we, the followers of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, how we can connect with Allah Azza wa Jal, and how we, the followers of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, how we can connect with the last prophet of Allah, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And how we, the followers of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, how we can connect with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. These are those topics that even though we spend our life or our life passes and we are looking for a purpose in life, because it is in the nature of every human, of every creature that Allah Azza wa Jal has created, that when they are born onto this world, when they come into this world, and when they come to the point in their life where they are able to use the biggest blessing that Allah Azza wa Jal has given them, and that blessing is the brain. When they are able to use the mind, when they are able to use the brain which Allah has given them, every single person starts to look for a purpose in life. If a person is born into the house of a Muslim, then automatically he understands that the purpose he has in life is to please Allah Azza wa Jal. And that person who is born into a Shia family, he automatically understands that with pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal, he needs to also please the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So every single person, when he starts to use this gift, the gift of the mind, he starts searching for the truth. And the only way we can find this truth, the only way we can understand the truth is if we have knowledge. And knowledge was one of the things that we were discussing yesterday, and I would like to continue from knowledge. That knowledge is that gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. That Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says that knowledge is that complete gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. That if you actually accept this gift from Allah, then that gift of knowledge will give you a purpose in life. Because especially the youth and the young people at this age, when they reach the age of 12 to the age of 18, a lot of youth are confused. And they always ask this question, that which way shall we turn in life? And the answer is simple. Because Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, who we all believe in, who we all follow, that Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is saying that the complete gift or the biggest gift from Allah Azza wa Jal that you can have to make your life run smoothly, then that gift is knowledge. Now, where we get confused is that even though, as I mentioned yesterday, even though we encourage our youth, we encourage the kids to study the knowledge of the world, but we ourselves are moving away from the teachings of Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Even though majority of people have taken these 10 days of work, majority of people, when it comes to Muharam, they bring their children along. And when you say to them that do they have school in the morning, every single person, because of the love of Imam Hussain ﷺ, he turns around and says that these 10 days only come once a year. So the thing is that we have the connection with the Imam, because if we didn't have the connection with Imam Hussain ﷺ, we wouldn't be coming into the Imam Bargah in the first place. That shows that we have a connection. But why is it that only in the month of Muharram that we are willing to, or we are able to show others the connection with Imam Hussain? Because not only the month of Muharram belongs to the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, but we find that every month from Muharram to Zil Hajj, every single month in the Islamic calendar is associated with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Because there is no month that does not have the Wiladat or the Shahadat of A'imma alayhi salatu wasalam. And as I said, if we are using the sadness of the Imams, the sadness that fell upon the Ahlul Bayt, if we are using the sadness to connect with them, then we are also using their happiness to connect with them. But the main issue is that the only way we can connect with the Ahlul Bayt, the only way we can understand the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam is when we have knowledge in regards to the Ahlul Bayt. If we don't know who Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is, how are we going to connect with Imam Ali? If we don't know who Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam is, then how are we going to connect with Imam Hassan? And so forth. If we do not know who Imam Hussain is, if we do not know For what purpose Imam Hussain ﷺ went to Karbala? If we do not understand that why did Imam Hussain ﷺ sacrifice everything that he had for Allah, if we do not understand that, then we cannot connect with Imam Hussain. And all this boils down to if we have knowledge in regards to the Ahlul Bayt. Can we have a loud salawat, please? In regards to knowledge, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam says that knowledge is that food. Knowledge is that food that gives life to the soul. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is trying to explain to us that if we want to live in this world, and if we want this body to survive in this world, then we need to give the body food. We need to give it energy so that the body can carry on living. But the same Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is saying that the best source of food for your soul is knowledge. And we can only gain knowledge, we can only connect to knowledge, we can only get closer to knowledge when we actually clean our minds and our souls. Because I have been mentioning this from the first of Muharam, no matter what you try to do, even if it is for the world, if you are trying to become a doctor or you're trying to become an engineer or whatever you are trying to do in the world, if your mind is not clear, then no matter how much you try, you won't be able to gain that knowledge. Because the only way you can gain that knowledge is when your mind and your soul is also clear. And that is knowledge of the world. And the knowledge of Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is that knowledge that even though if our mind and our soul is clean and pure, we will understand that knowledge better. But what is the condition that Ali Muhammad ﷺ want you to have if you want to learn the knowledge which has been revealed to them? Ali Muhammad ﷺ say that if you want to actually get closer to Allah, if you want to actually learn the true teachings of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the only thing that you need to have is a pure intention. And even though these to some might be little things, but when we add everything up, that brings us one step closer to the Ahlul Bayt. And the thing is, we need to find something, because not every person has a pure mind, not every person has a pure soul. Our souls and our minds get covered with impurities. Why? Because the world and the society that we live in, it is full of those people that have moved away from Allah. I'm not just talking about the Muslims. But the thing is, because we live in a society that the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews, the Hindus, the Sikhs, we all live together in a society. And there is no harm in living in a society that is like that. But as long as you keep your religion to yourself, because our religion does not teach us to force itself on someone else. Because we are not believers of those people that force the religion of Islam onto someone else. Because we find in the life of the Holy Prophet that when the Holy Prophet ﷺ was living in Medina, the Christians used to live with him. The Jews used to live side by side. People from other sects, from other groups, from other religions used to live side by side with the Prophet. Did the Prophet ever force them to accept Islam? No. Why did they accept Islam? Because of the character of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And in a famous story that every single child has heard. But the thing is, we hear all these stories, but we don't understand what the actual meaning of the story is. That when Khatamul Anbiya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to Medina, when the Prophet came to Medina, people started to move out of Medina. Why? Because they started telling each other that a magician has come to Medina. A magician has come to Medina and he does magic on your mind, and as soon as you start listening to him, you start reading the kalma that he is making people read. Now when people heard this, majority of the people started running from Medina. They started moving to different cities because they didn't want to come under the spell of this magician. And we find that an old woman, she was trying to leave Medina. And as she was leaving, she sees that a person is walking towards her. So she says to this person that, "Oh person, I have a lot of luggage and I would appreciate that if you could help me so I could reach on the outskirts of Medina." So this person asks this woman, "Why is it that you are leaving Medina?" She turns around and she says to him that, "Have you not heard that a magician has come to Medina? And he is doing such magic, he is doing such spells on people that as soon as people talk to him, they start reading the kalma. They start believing in one God." So this person says to this woman, "Have you met this person?" She says, "No." She says, "I don't need to meet such a person who is moving us away by using magic." So this person helped this woman, carried all her luggage, and when she reached to the outskirts of Medina, she says to this person that even though you have been helping me for half a day, you have moved all my luggage so I can move out of Medina. Oh person, can you tell me what your name is? Can you tell me what your name is?" Now this person looks at this woman and smiles. And he says, "From that Muhammad who you are trying to run away from, I am that Muhammad and I am that Prophet of Allah Azza wa Jalla." Together can we have a loud salawat please? This is the character of the Prophet that we believe in. And these are the characteristics of the Imams that we believe in. Because we believe in those Imams, that our first is also Muhammad, our middle is also Muhammad, our last is also Muhammad. Because we believe that all of our Imams, in their characteristics, in the way they live their lives, in their seerat and in their surat, they are exactly like the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because they came with a purpose, and that purpose was to connect us with Allah Azza wa Jalla. That purpose was to move us closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. But we can only benefit from their lives, we can only learn from their characters only if we have knowledge. And the best way we can attain knowledge is by coming to the Majalis of Imam Hussain Islam. Because this is an open university. This is not a university for the Muslims. This is not a university for those that believe in Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. This is that university that even if you don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam is willing to guide you. But the thing is, you need to have an open mind. And you need to believe in anything that the Imams say, because just like the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if the Prophet does not speak without the command of Allah Azza wa Jal, the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam do not speak without the command of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can we have a loud salawat, please? So just like the world, when we have a problem, we try to cover it up. If it's a sunny day outside and we go outside, what do we do to protect ourselves from the sun? We either wear a hat, we wear glasses, or we wear sun cream. Why? Because we want to protect ourselves from the rays of the sun. If we are willing to do that, to protect our bodies, if we are willing to do that, to protect our bodies, then what are we doing to protect our souls? What are we doing to protect our souls? And we find in narrations from the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, that Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says that knowledge is that cover from Allah Azza wa Jal. Knowledge is that cover from Allah Azza wa Jal which will protect your soul. So we need to understand the status of knowledge in Islam. Because unless we don't have knowledge, we cannot understand what taharat is. We cannot understand what purity is. And unless we don't have the knowledge for these basic laws in Islam, then we are a mile off in connecting with Allah Azza wa Jal. Because you cannot just wake up one morning and just assume that when you open your eyes, you will connect with Allah Azza wa Jal. Because to connect with Allah Azza wa Jal, you need to spend years training your mind. You need to spend years in training your soul. And once you've actually attained that training, and you've attained that knowledge, and you've actually understood who the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam are, then you are a step closer in connecting with Allah. But the first thing is understanding the Ahlul Bayt. And we see in the life of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, that once Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam was sitting in Medina, and Abu Basir was one of the companions of the sixth Imam. And whilst they are sitting, a woman walks into the courtyard. And she says to the sixth Imam that, I have an illness which I have tried to get resolved, which I have tried to get fixed from many doctors. She says, I've been to every single doctor in this city and all those cities that are connecting this city. I've been to every single physician and he has done everything possible to cure my illness. But still, O son of Sayyida Fatimah Zahra Salamullah alayha, she says that still I am ill. And now the doctors have said to me that I only have a few days to live. And I understand that you are the son of that person that if he wants, he can bring the dead back to life. And now I have come to you hoping that you will give me a cure. So the Imam says to her, what have the doctors told you to do? She says that the doctors have turned around, the physicians have turned around and said to me that if I start to drink alcohol, the problem which I have, that problem will finish. So the Imam looks at her and he gets angry, and the Imam says that if you are a follower of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, then I, the son of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, is telling you that if by doing something which upsets Allah Azza wa Jal, if by doing something which is forbidden by Allah Azza wa Jal, even though you might get temporary life in this world, but the Imam says that Allah will throw you in the fire of hell forever. So she says to the Imam, what am I supposed to do? Imam says that if by doing this act and staying away from alcohol, if by doing this act you die in the process, then I, Sadiq Ali Muhammad, promises you that you will go to paradise. So she says, Mawla, does that mean that shall I accept death and stay away from this cure that the doctors are giving me? The Imam says, yes. So she listens to what the Imam says. Look at the understanding, the ma'rifat, how she understood the status of the Imams. That even though she knew that if she didn't do what the doctors asked her to do, that she could die, she had full faith in the Imams. And she put her life into the hands of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. And she put her hands into his, she put her life into his hands because she knew the status of the Imams. And only if we, the followers of Ali Muhammad, if we can only understand 1% of the status that Allah has given them, then these little problems that we face throughout our lives, they will cease to exist. Only if we have complete faith in Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Can we have a loud salawat, please? And everything that I am telling you, it all boils down to knowledge. Unless we don't have knowledge of who Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam are, then we trying to connect with them will be of no use. Because Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam in another narration says to his people, tries to explain to his companions the status of knowledge in the eyes of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. The sixth Imam says that when a person dies, 4 types of fire will surround him when he is in his grave. How many types of fire? 4. 4 types of fire will come and surround him when he is in the grave. And every fire's purpose will be to cause pain to the person who is buried in the grave. And the sixth Imam says that the first thing which will come to help him in the grave, which will come to put out one of the fires, that thing will be the prayers that he has said in this world. So the first thing that will help him in the grave is the ibadat that he has done on this world. Then the sixth Imam says that the second thing that will come to help him in the grave, the second thing which will put out the second fire which is surrounding this person in the grave, that thing will be the charity that he has given for Allah Azza wa Jalla. So don't think that your namaz, your ibadat, the prayers that you do, they won't help you, because the first place that your namaz will help you is in the grave. So one of the fires will be put out by your ibadat, by the prayers that you do. The second fire will be put out by the charity that you have given for Allah Azza wa Jal. And then the Imam says that the third fire that is surrounding this person in the grave, that will be put out by the fast that he has kept for Allah Azza wa Jal. So the three of the fires will be put out. One will be put out by the ibadat that he's done. The second will be put out by the charity that he's given. The third will be put out by the fast which he has kept. Then the Imam says that a person will come and he will say to the person in the grave that even though I am late in coming, but Allah has given me the ability that if I had come first, I was able to put out all fires. So how many fires? 4 fires. So this person that comes, he says that if I had come before, then Allah had given me the power to put out all the fires. So meaning this person that has come, he has power over ibadat, he has power over charity, he has power over the fastings that you have kept. Now who is this fourth person that has come? Imam Sadiq Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam says that the fourth person that comes in your grave to put out all the fires, that will be the knowledge that you have attained in this world. So this is the status of knowledge. Because if you don't have knowledge, then you cannot pray. If you don't have knowledge and you don't understand what the benefits of charity are, then you can't give charity. If you don't have knowledge, then you cannot fast for Allah, because you don't know why we fast for Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the status that Allah has given knowledge. And we all pray that in this month of Muharram, Allah gives us all the ability to actually understand the knowledge of Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Because as I have been saying from the 1st of Muharram, and today is the 8th of Muharram, and the Imam that we are coming to cry for, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, he is only with us for another 2 days. Only if the Muslims understood who the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam were, if they understood the status of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, then Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam had no need to leave Medina. Azadaro, those people that have come today to cry for Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, we have gathered today to cry for that person who is known as Abbas. Azadara, do you want to know who Abbas is? Abbas is the name of that person. Abbas is the name of that person. For if it was not for Abbas, then Zainab would have not left Medina. Azadaro, Abbas is the name of that personality for whom Janab Sakina used to say to the children, "Oh children, do not worry because my uncle Abbas is alive." Azadaro, it was very hard for Imam Hussain والسلام, to give permission on the day of Ashur to Hazrat Abbas والسلام. Azadaro, when the children, just imagine, every single person has children or knows how the nature of a child is. How do you think a child will behave when for 3 days they are without food and water? Azadaro, Janab Sakina Salamullah Alaiha would come to her father and say, "Oh my father, the children are crying because they are saying they do not have water. My brother Ali Asgar, he is crying because he does not have water. Oh my father, give my uncle permission so he can go and get us water." Hazrat Imam Hussain والسلام, looks at his 6-year-old daughter and says, "Sakina, why do you want to send Abbas?" Sakina looks at her father and says, "Oh my father, the reason why I want to send Uncle Abbas, because I love my brother Ali Asgar." Imam Hussain asks her again, "Sakina, tell me again what you have said." She says, "Oh my father, the reason I want to send Uncle Abbas is because I love my brother Ali Asgar." Imam Hussain asked her to repeat. The third time, Imam Hussain looks at Sakina and says, "Oh Sakina, your brother Ali Asgar is only 6 months old and you love your brother so much. Oh Sakina, try to understand my brother Abbas. How old is Abbas? If you love your brother who is 6 months old, how much do you think I love my brother Abbas?" Zadara, it was very hard for Imam Hussain to give permission to Abbas to go and fight. But alas, Hazrat Abbas got permission from Imam Hussain. And this alam of Hazrat Abbas that we are going to receive today, Azadaro, this is not just a flag that we carry. This is that flag upon whom Janab Sakina sent Hazrat Abbas with the wish that her uncle will bring water. Azadaro, eventually Hazrat Abbas got permission to go and fight. It is written that when Hazrat Abbas entered Karbala, after all, he was also the son of Haideria. He killed so many enemies. But Azadaro, the reason that we cry for Hazrat Abbas, Azadaro, a time came upon Hazrat Abbas, the mashq that he was carrying in the name of Sayyida Sakina, one of the enemies of Islam. He took a sword and he hit the left arm of Hazrat Abbas. When the arm of Hazrat Abbas fell to the ground, Hazrat Abbas put this mashq into his right arm. He was carrying this mashq and he was looking at the khaymah and he was probably thinking, "Oh Sakina, don't worry, your uncle Abbas is on his way." But an enemy walked forward and he hit his sword on the arm of Hazrat Abbas. Hazrat Abbas' right arm fell to the ground. Hazrat Abbas was holding the mashq in his mouth. Oh Azadaro, every person reads that Hazrat Abbas fell to the ground. Oh Azadaro, when it was the last time of Hazrat Abbas, Imam Hussain came to Hazrat Abbas, and Hazrat Abbas says to Imam Hussain, "Oh Hussain, oh my master, it is my will that I want to see your blessed face before I depart this world." Hazrat Imam Hussain says, "Abbas, why can't you see my face?" Hazrat Abbas says, "Oh my master, in one eye I have an arrow, and in the other eye I have blood. Oh Hazrat, the reason why Hazrat Abbas refused to return to the tents of Imam Hussain, because Hazrat Abbas promised Sayyida Sakina, "Oh Sakina, if I do not bring water, Abbas shall not return."